Yeah, I'm just like really weird. Like so weird. I'm just really weird. I can't even tell you how weird I am.
Maya, who are you talking to?
See? I'm just really weird. You don't even know.
That's so weird.
Thank you. And scene. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and theys and thems, was called acting.
Get in here!
Get in here!
My name is Curly.
And I'm Maya.
And welcome to the Super Secret Bestie Club
podcast. A super secret club where we talk about super secret things.
Yeah, like secrets that are super.
That's what it is.
In each episode, we'll talk about love, friendship, heartbreaks, men, and of course, our favorite secrets. Get in here!
Welcome to another episode of the Super Secret Bestie Club podcast. And I just wanted to say, I was going to tweet this, so maybe I shouldn't tweet this. If you listen to our podcast and we used to be friends or date and you get your feelings hurt, that's on you. Should I not tweet that?
Were you about to tweet that right now?
I was going to tweet it.
Yeah,
should I not?
Tweet it. Yeah, tweet it.
During retrograde?
Yeah.
I'm going to wait on that.
It
I'm going to... Says, if you listen to our podcast and we used to date or be friends.
Oh, no.
And you get your feelings hurt, that's on you.
No.
So delete it.
Once I heard it again, I was like...
Right. That's why I was asking. That's why you always ask your friends, people.
Well, Maya, how's your spirit? Oh, no. Welcome. You do the thing. Welcome or whatever.
I did.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Chugs more coffee.
I did. How's your spirit?
My spirit's good. It's hot. It's hot in LA. I need a shower. I have a lot of things to do. I have to walk my dog. I have to feed him. How do people have kids? Like how? Not to bring up what we're gonna talk about, but like how do people have kids? I don't understand it.
Well, how can they have kids that are weird? Segueing into our topic for today.
Well, I mean, what do you mean?
Well, I was a really weird kid. Mm-hmm. What do you do when your kid is like weird? When they're just not in a cute way either, and in a bit alarming way, where you're like, this is. I would be like, oh my God, I brought this kid into the world but I have no choice but to love them. I wouldn't have it any other way. I have no kids, by the way, but just the thinking of the mental energy at this point of having to take care of a child.
Yeah. Well,
taking care of myself is enough.
I feel like people in general are weird. So it only makes sense that a lot of us would be weird kids. Like I just was like, and I still am. Like I always tell people, I'm like, I don't feel like I live in this world. I feel like I live like up here, and I'm like trying to figure out how to be a human all the time. And I'm like, I can't imagine having that feeling and being like 6 years old and trying to understand. Like I can remember, I don't know if you remember this, but can you remember how vivid your imagination was as a kid? Like I can remember.
Yeah, and it's dangerous.
Yeah, like being drunk by my imagination, completely gone, completely like just not there, not here. I was in whatever world I was imagining in my head.
And give us an example of what's a day in the life in that world?
Well, did you ever do this thing where like, let's say like you had like a mini house or something, and like a Barbie house or a Polly Pocket house. For me, it was more like my grandma's plants growing up. I used to be like, what if I lived in there? And I would imagine my whole life being like a mini person, mini person. And I just like lived in a plant. I lived in like a pot, and that's what I would like. Did you ever do that? Like, did you ever think
it's like the magical school bus, right?
Oh yeah.
I would imagine myself in that way, where I'd be like, what would it be like to, or you know what got me thinking that way is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Mm-hmm. That was a huge movie for me to be like, at any moment we could turn into a tiny ant and our parents could just forget about us and just not know us.
I like that movie. That movie used to give me crazy anxiety.
It would scare me because the ants were like,
weren't they good in the movie though?
They were
guys.
Good, but it's just like I think
and
it was
almost
like
died, huh?
Yeah, they got like something like with those oatmeal cream cookies. Like, didn't they like start eating them? And I don't know. That whole scene just like messed me up.
I know, me too.
But yeah, and James and the Giant Peach, like that definitely got me thinking. Like, I think a lot of these movies and stuff that we early 2000s, 90s, 80s movies were weird as
they were
fuck.
Weird. So of course
they were weird, and they were not meant for kids.
That was weird.
Like
we just go to heaven?
Yes, absolutely. That traumatizing. I feel like I could never watch that movie ever again.
I never watched it. Or like Homeward Bound. All the Homeward Bound movies were like the dogs had
Fox
to like
and the Hound.
Oh,
Fox and the Hound.
I think I only watched that one time and then never again. Just like I think people felt like they were trying to do something with animation at the time. Like, let's tell a really beautiful story with animation. And I think that our parents thought that because it was animated, it would be suitable for kids. But like Bambi's mom getting shot, Mufasa flying off of the fucking rock.
All of those are like a rite of passage that it's collective trauma. It's the trauma collectively that we needed to have, unfortunately.
I still have a hard time. I just went to go see, a couple of months ago, I went to go see Northwest perform The Lion King. Musically talented
Hollywood Bowl.
Hollywood Bowl. What did I say?
No, I just said Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, I thought I said something different. I sometimes I feel like I say something and I'm like, what did I say? I could not watch that scene where Mufasa died. Like I was like,
brother, help me, brother.
It was so, but you know, we had an episode on revenge, and guess who got their sweet revenge after that was Simba.
Oh.
Because Simba, you know, the line where Scar tells Simba, run away and never return. And at the end of the movie, Simba tells Scar, run away.
And Simba's like, Dad, you gotta get up.
Oh my God, that is the saddest.
Book me for anything you need, voiceover people. Yeah, it was really sad. But these things I feel like have informed us as children and made us little weirdos and turned us into who we are today. And I was just like thinking about all the weird stuff that I used to do, weird quirks I used to do as a kid. And I was like, Curly, you have any weird quirks that you had as a kid? And you said yes. And I don't know his. He doesn't know mine. So we're going to present these weird things we used to do. Judgment free. If you judge in the comments, if you judge anywhere, you're booted out of the treehouse, the clubhouse. Okay, because this is the Super Secret Bestie Club, where we relay these secrets with no judgment. Okay.
With no judgment. Okay, you go first.
You go first.
Okay, not only did I used to pretend to be Selena when I was a kid, like I used to like perform and like make my outfits look like Selena, but I used to tell people that she was my aunt. I used to go out in public and tell people. Like, I would go to school and they'd be like, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, Selena. Like, no, on your behalf, I'm so sorry about that.
I remember I went to like
that was
school,
weird, huh?
And they were like, why are you sad? And I was like, well, I miss my aunt. They were like, who's your aunt? And I was like, Selena.
You would say some shit like that, you freaking liar. Wow.
Well, I mean, I must have been like 7 years old, 8 years old. Like, what do you tell? You know what it was is I asked my dad, I was like, hey, do you think that somewhere along the line we kind of all must be related to one another? And my dad was like, kind of, technically, we probably are to some degree.
And that's all you needed.
And that's all I needed. I ran with it. I said, Curly Quintanilla Perez at your service.
Perez, like you guys. Right.
Right. What about
Interesting. Well, I'm trying to think also if I have anything Selena related. Okay, I've said this before. How the Grinch Stole Christmas came out in 2001.
Oh damn! I was gonna guess that.
Or 2000.
I think 2000.
I think it was 2000. Yeah. And I was 7, 8 years old. My mom was a movie reviewer, and she had this movie poster, the one where he has like he's like whisper, or he's like going like this, like shushing. And she had that poster on the back of her door in my parents' art room. And I used to, like, when they were not looking, or even when they were there, I used to go behind and look at the Grinch poster and like yell at the Grinch poster and be like, why are you being a bad person? These people need these presents. Like, what's wrong with you? And then when my parents weren't there, I would kiss the poster. And that should tell you that I am like such a baby Aries. That
I know. Oh my god.
I don't know. Like, he just had big juicy lips, and I was just like, and now I'm gonna kiss you. But that's not the only poster I used to kiss.
Oh my god. Wait,
Justin Timberlake. I had a Justin Timberlake poster.
Wait, you can't just skip over the Grinch that quickly, though. We can't just hop into, like... So what would you do? You'd be like, you can't just steal people's gifts. Then all of a sudden you're like, but you are
You can
hot.
steal my gifts. Oh.
Oh my god, no, you're a baby.
Well, now as a 31-year-old.
Oh my god.
He was kind of hot.
I had a crush on Michael Jackson in the video... It don't matter if you're black or white. And I used to go up to my TV and kiss my TV hardcore. I was like, Michael Jackson is fine as fuck with that long, luscious hair. And I also had a thing for Peter Pan.
Yeah, I can see that. I had a thing for Kovu.
For who?
Kovu, Lion King 2.
Oh, I think I didn't believe in
Scar's, not Scar's descendant. In the beginning, I swear, I don't know if this is like happened and changed the course of time, but I remember them presenting Kovu as Scar's either son or nephew or descendant. And so when Lion King 2 came out, which was, I think it was Simba's Pride, was like the name at the bottom. It's about Simba's daughter, and the whole story is the same structure as Romeo and Juliet. So Nala, or not Nala. Oh, what is her name in the movie? Simba's daughter basically falls in love with Kovu, who she's not supposed to fall in love with. And so it creates like the, Romeo and Juliet thing. Kovu was hot as fuck. Kovu was so hot. And I think it was because of his voice.
I've never seen Kovu like live in action before.
Kovu was like, he was bad and he knew it. And then when they were singing Deception, Disgrace, he was like being exiled pretty much from the whole pack.
Like Pride Rock?
Pride Rock, yeah. And they were singing that song and he had to leave. They chased him out.
Okay,
anyway,
wait, so I think there's like a family tree.
But
so
now it's not. Now it's changed that Kovu is not, he's just a part of the pack. But back then, that's what they had said.
Wow.
I remember.
Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm like looking at this now. I mean, I feel like a lot of people get crushes on cartoons.
Honorable mention for the posters I used to kiss. Troy Bolton, Zac Efron, Joe Jonas. Mostly Joe Jonas. I had a Joe Jonas pillow and a Zac Efron pillow, so I'll leave that to your imagination.
His name was Troy Bolton on the show?
Yeah. On the movie. It was a movie.
Oh, on the movie. Why? That's an interesting...
Have you ever seen High School Musical?
I have never seen High School Musical. I don't know that I could.
Oh, you've never seen Camp Rock either, I'm assuming.
I've never seen any of these. But... yeah, I've never seen any of these.
Okay.
Movie night.
Okay. movie night, it will also maybe teach you more about myself too.
Yeah.
There's a lot you don't know about me.
Now you've sent me down a wormhole of just Googling Zac Efron. This man is just beautiful. How tall is he?
He's beautiful. He's 5'6".
He's 5'6". How tall is... Okay.
You're next.
He's 5'10".
No, he's not.
According
No,
to
he's
this
not.
How tall is Zac Efron? Oh,
No, he's not.
He's 5'8".
5'8", okay.
Okay. The next thing on my my list, I don't think this is weird at all, to be honest. I think this is quite normal, but it was something that I lived with for a very long time, where how could I say this? I thought for a very long time that I was, and I still kind of feel this all the time, that I'm like a lady soul trapped in like a man body. But as a kid, I thought that my body was going to catch up. I actually thought that my body was a lady body and that it was going to develop. And I thought that, like, surely everybody had gotten it wrong. Like, truly, 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 up until the age of 12, I was just like, I really, really, really believed that when I hit puberty, my voice would change a certain type of way. I would develop boobs, I would get a period. I thought my dick was gonna fall off. I was like, I'm going to show the world, my body's going to show the world, like, who I am and what I was. And I think that actually stayed with me until I was like 18. And now I feel like, I still always joke that I feel like I'm a lady soul, but I think that my lady soul is like in cosplay and in man body. And she's like, this is fun. Like, we're like, it's like, now it's more of like a fun thing. But at the time, I remember being like really freaked out about a lot of things too. Like, as I got older, like when I first heard that moms have to breastfeed and that breastfeeding could be very painful, I remember my immediate reaction being like, I hope I never have to breastfeed. That sounds terrible. That sounds like so much work. You know, when I was like, oh, this is how people have babies, I was like, well, I don't have a kahun-hun, but I think that if I go through my belly button, I could have a baby. But that also sounds really painful to me too. Like, where is this baby gonna come out of? But I held this for so long where I was like, yeah, this is, and I feel like that's a lot of what maybe a lot of young trans kids feel. And so I understand. I think, I don't want to speak for like a community that I'm not a part of, but I think that like there's just this like, as sure as the sky is blue, as sure as I knew that the sun would come up, I also just believed that I was going to develop into a girl, which was pretty cool, you know? And then when I got older, people used to confuse me for a girl. They thought I was a girl for a very long time.
I call you my little lady.
My little lady, and I loved it. Remember,
Little
I was like,
lady.
how did you ever feel anything like that? Like, did you ever feel like you had like a different gender when you were younger, or?
I've always felt like I was like, they used to call it like a tomboy, you know, because I like to play sports when I didn't really play sports. I wanted to. I feel like I had a lot of aggression to just be something, and so I pretty much feel like I've been like masculine a lot in my spirit for sure. And I feel like my brother is definitely the more feminine one out of like us. But then I feel like I also can, you know, I feel ultra femme all the time. It's cute, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I've always just, I remember when I bought like this one shirt that was like plaid or something, like that didn't look like at the time like a girl should wear or whatever, and my mom's like, you don't want to dress like a girl anymore? I'm like, it's a plaid shirt and I want to look like Bella from Twilight because she wears plaid long sleeve shirts.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. That's crazy because that memory really stayed with you because I feel like we talk about that a lot.
It did, and I called her
Yeah.
out on it, even though she doesn't even remember. But I remember
Yeah.
her snapping at me in front of everyone, in front of the whole store. Like she's like, you don't want to look like a girl anymore. And I was like, and I was definitely was not out by then, like thinking anything queer. Maybe a little bit, but after that, I sure wasn't. If that's how you're gonna say shit,
Yeah.
So that's still something I feel like I need to go back to in my. So I feel like when I bring it up to my mom, I'm like, remember when you said this, because when you experience like now, I feel like both my parents are very much like they with the exposure to this new world of queerness and everything, they understand it and they have accessibility to that. Whereas back then, they accepted it, but it wasn't as understood as it is now. Mm-hmm. So, when you get those little moments where they celebrate something and it's like, remember when you made me feel like shit? And you're like, whoa, why am I saying that?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for sharing that. That's
I don't know why I made that noise. I didn't know how to react. I was gonna go like and I just
it's important too, and I'm glad that it sticks out. Definitely not weird at all. I think it definitely sticks out as like it you can definitely see how it informs the way you grow up.
Absolutely.
All of mine are not serious at all. So
please.
This next one, I used to sneak in the pantry and eat a spoonful of sugar, spoonfuls, or my favorite thing, and I would still do it today if I would let myself. Like the Nesquik chocolate milk powder.
Oh my God, yeah.
I would put that shit in my mouth. Like,
shut up.
Yeah, it was so good.
I used to eat ketchup packs like that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Just suck out the ketchup. Like, what were we thinking as kids?
I think I definitely had an eating disorder, undiagnosed eating disorder back then, because I'm like, why did my body want to eat raw sugar like that and chocolate milk powder like that? I feel like I was already at that point extremely addicted to sugar, as I still am. Hey, next.
I used to eat like ketchup packs. I used to like crazy, like just eat them. Like that could be a meal for me. Like if I was like, oh, I'm hungry, I would just go eat ketchup. Or when I was in preschool, I remember that I would eat sand. Like I remember that I would get like, there was in preschool, I remember that we would take naps and they put me like they put my little bed like near like a pot that had like a fake tree in it, but it had sand in the pot. And so I would stick my little hands in there and I would play with the sand. And I think I somehow got it in my mouth and I was like, that's crunchy. And I would just
hell yeah, it is.
Like keep eating it. I mean, it's like silver. What do they say? It's silver teeth kid behavior. Even though I didn't have silver teeth, like I just was like, nom, 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 nom. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that crunch. It upsets me when. That crunch upsets me when you go to the beach and then you come back and you like somehow just crunch or talk and you could hear the and I'm like, how did this get into my mouth?
Yeah. I feel like I also like had a little bit of like of a desire and a like for things that were like como te dijera, like I would fixate on them really hard. Like so like my next one is like I used to like to make holes in things. Like I remember I would sit on the toilet at my parents' house and I would like find like a pen or anything and I would make holes in the wall. Like I would just get so fixated and
holes in the wall?
Like holes. Like I would pop the pen in, I would make a hole in the wall.
In the wall?
In the wall.
Bitch.
But like
I would be pissed.
I think any parent would be pissed, like, yo, and then I remember they covered it up and I started again. Like I said, there was just something like, you know what it is? Like, you know when like you have a styrofoam cup and you start biting the styrofoam cup?
No.
Okay, so like that's what I had back then and that's what I still have to a certain extent. Like,
well, no.
Yeah, like I felt like I needed to bite on the cup. I would make holes and stuff. But one time, my abuelo got like a new like leather desk chair for like the household, and I think there was like brand new brand new sharpener and brand new pencils. So I started sharpening this one pencil, and I was like, what would it sound like if I poked a hole in this chair? And so I poked a hole in this chair, and I just disappeared. I just remember getting so lost in the sensation and the feeling of like what it felt like to because you know the leather, it's like wound really tight your face right now. So I'm basically like
this, you know, I was joking with this episode. All of mine are like really dumb, but this gives me a lot of insight.
Well, this is why I think that like my brain just works differently, right? Like, where did I go? Because when I looked up, when I came back, there were so many holes in this chair, and I was kind of like, what did I do? Where did I go? And my grandma came out, They were like ready to like hand me my ass. And I think my mom came, my parents came, they were like, oh, we are so sorry. But I remember for years, this chair was like destroyed. Like they had to put tape over it.
Can you imagine? They're like, spent my hard-earned money from my family on a brand new leather couch.
Yeah.
What a staple this will be for our family. Think of the many laughs, the many giggles, the cuddles we will have on movie night.
Exactly.
I would be like, you are working every single day, every single summer to be able to pay for a new couch.
But I literally was so
And I would take you to
young.
therapy first. Be like, why did you do this?
Well, I think that like Latino parents didn't have that right, because I'm sure something was up. But I was young. I was like 6 or 7. I was just, and that's what I was saying earlier, that I just became so drunk with imagination as a kid. I remember how drunk I would get with imagination that I couldn't control it. Like I would just disappear. You know, I kind of still have that now, where I just not in a crazy way where I'm stabbing shit and I come back and I'm like, what the fuck? But like in a very normal way where people go like, why didn't you answer my text, or why didn't you answer this email? And I'm like,
you're poking holes in shit.
I was gone.
That's
like,
what
I was
I'm
somewhere
gonna
in my
think
head.
next time you don't answer me. He's probably poking holes in another leather chair somewhere.
What's your next one?
Well, this one has a bit of a Q&A or a quiz at the end. So I used to think that I had superpowers because my nose would bleed anytime, anywhere. Like I used to think like my nose is bleeding, something's wrong, something's off.
And Marie told me this.
My nose would bleed, I swear to God. I just wouldn't know. Like, and it would be like pouring. And I feel like I'm like a nosebleed expert. You are not supposed to, this is for everyone listening, you are not supposed to tilt your head back.
Yeah.
You can swallow your blood, and I've swallowed my blood before like that, and I have coughed it up in a big, like, sorry, this is gross, in a big, like, clot, basically. I've coughed it up. You're supposed to just, like, pinch your nose. If you don't have anything at all, like, yeah, and you're in a pinch, like, yes, like, tilt your head back, but it's not good at all. So I used to just, you know, have nosebleeds everywhere. And one time in the 4th grade, my nose was bleeding, and I went to the nurse, and this kid goes, you know, you should really stop picking your nose if you don't want your nose to bleed.
What? Wow.
And so here's the quiz. Did I actually pick my nose? A, yes, to get out of PE or recess or lunch. B, no, it was just a hot day in Arizona and it dried out my nose. C, another cause.
Well, B and C are kind of the same, right?
Okay, well, no C. Just A or B.
I would say B, because I feel like I would have known by now if you had picked your nose. If you were a nose picker. Were you a nose picker? Were you a nose picker? Are you a nose picker now?
These are incriminating questions. How dare you ask me such an offensive question on a big platform like this?
Yeah. So yes, I'll say yes.
I don't remember. But it could have been either. It could have been just a hot day, or yeah, sometimes I would pick my nose, but I specifically would not pick my nose because my nose would bleed. So it's a trick question.
Wow.
Sometimes if I wanted to get my nose to bleed, sometimes I would pick it to get out of things. Not all the time. Only when I need to bring in the big guns.
I like to, whenever I get a nosebleed, sometimes I look in the mirror and I pretend I'm like, what's happening to me? Like I pretend I'm in a scary movie, and then I just enjoy the blood. I enjoy the blood fest.
It just like it would happen. I don't know what the answer is for that. I would go to the doctor and they wouldn't say anything. I'm like, did I inhale like my powder that I use for my face? They're like, no. Like, I think it had to do with anxiety. It was like every single time I would get slightly excited or emotional, or it would just happen, and then I would have to leave. It would make me physically leave. And yeah, and then it stopped completely when I graduated high school. Wow. Completely. I've never had a nosebleed, knock on wood, since.
I have nosebleeds a lot now. Like fairly easily. Like it'll be like the weather. Sometimes if I'm on the toilet, I don't know what it is, like sitting down or something, I'll start to like get like a nosebleed.
But like, fuck that kid who said, if you want your nose to stop bleeding, you should really stop picking your nose. When did you ever see me pick my nose? He was like I'm like, and why are you here? Aren't you sick?
My next one is, I used to love to be barefoot all the time, everywhere. Like I wanted to be barefoot, running up and down the street. If I went to the store, I wanted to be barefoot. If I was at work, I guess when I got older, I'd be barefoot too. There was just something about being barefoot that I just like felt free. I think I saw I forget what cartoon I watched as a young kid, and I saw that they were barefoot, and I was like, yeah, me too. And so I like never put shoes on again until like 2006 or something, and I was like, I guess I should put shoes on. I didn't even have a lot of shoes growing up. I only had one pair of shoes every year. My parents would buy me one pair of shoes, and everything else I'd be like, I just want to be barefoot.
You're so quirky. You're so quirky, so weird.
I mean, I don't know what it was. I think I just felt, I think there was a scene in Little Rascals where they're chasing like the duck with the pickle, I think, or with the dollar. I'll give you $1 for a pickle, or I'll give you a nickel for a pickle or something. And I think that I saw it as a young kid, and I was like, oh, I want to be like that. And I don't remember if one of them was like barefoot, but I was like, I'm going to be barefoot. So I was always barefoot all the time. And I loved having dirty feet. It was like a rite of passage for me to have dirty feet.
Did you ever look at your socks when you were at my parents' house?
I didn't, actually.
Oh. Or look at your feet?
No.
That's where you can get. Anyway, I had a reoccurring dream when I was 12 or 13 that the lead singer of Green Day, Billy Joe Armstrong, wanted to marry me. And like we were in a full-blown relationship, mature relationship.
Wow. I just followed him the other day because he is amazing. And he's bi.
I didn't know that. But at the time, he was, he's 52 now. Wow. I loved guys in eyeliner. That was like the moment.
I know.
It was so hot. It still is hot. But I was able to, at like 12 or 13, just like have this, and it wasn't like he was my main either. He was not my main. Like, he was not the main guy that I was like, loving. That was like Lance Bass at the time, or Orlando Bloom. But I don't understand. I think maybe I just had like and that dream lasted for like a year or two, where every single time I would go to bed, I would have a dream of us going on a date, and I was still 12 or 13. And I look back at it and I'm like, Billy Joe, sir, what were you doing having relations with a 12 or 13-year-old in the dream world?
Yeah. I mean, we all had like weird crushes. Jess, my best friend since we were in the third grade, she had a big crush on Jonathan Davis from Porn, and she also was like that was her jam.
But he was cool. It was really nice.
I still follow him too. I still like he's super adorable. My big last one, final hurrah, is just as I started with Selena, I end with Selena. I had a Selena museum in my closet, and I would like basically anything Selena related. Like I would just draw, like remember like Selena's signature or whatever was one. It's like the big S and the little Elena. And so like I would just draw that on everything, where I would put like a giant S, and then I would steal my family video camera, and I would record and make my own content basically about Selena. And it'd be like, Selena was born in 1971 on April.
I would kill to see
16.
those. I would do anything,
They're
Curly.
somewhere.
Please.
I gotta find them.
Oh my god.
I should
please.
find them, huh? Oh my
yes,
god, how embarrassing.
actually. Not
Selena
embarrassing at
was
all.
born- I mean,
Didn't you used to charge admission too?
I used to charge fake admission. I think
Mr.
that
Quintanilla!
Get her.
I believe you might be.
I believe you might be selling things and profiting off of Selena's name, Mr.
Yeah.
Quintanilla.
You might be up for some money. You might be
Get her.
compensated.
Get
Oh my
her.
god! I used to make my cousins like Selena membership cards, and then I would scan it with the stapler, and when they
That
would come
is
over,
so cute.
and
I
would
want
be
one.
like, "Come over,
I want one.
come over." I'll make you one. Well, were we weird, or did we just
Were
have a
we
lot of
weird?
personality?
I stand by everything I've ever said. I don't remember anything.
I don't remember anything I just said either. I think I was like fun either way.
I think I was my like actual last one was like I put anger management. I used to throw my Molly doll in the closet to punish her.
Wow.
I used to be like, get in there and shut the closet. And my parents would be like, wow, how sad. That's how you treat your dolls? Wow. Poor Molly. I'm going to take Molly out of your closet. Don't take her out of my closet. Like, what was...
You're still the same way though.
And
Just kidding.
what about it? Welcome to the astrology portion of the podcast. Which signs are really weird?
You know what? Like this is the season of Earth signs.
Oh,
like,
I was gonna say Aquarius.
I feel why do you think that?
Because they march to the beat of their own drum, and it's not even a drum, and it's not even a beat. It's like something that they are. The way they're coded and programmed is like, it's such a mystery, and it's also just like, I feel like a lot of them are really like happy-go-lucky sometimes, but I think they're weird in the sense that like they are still able to get everything they've ever wanted. Going against the grain.
Yeah. I feel like
And
most
that's
people would
weird
agree.
to me. I'm just kidding.
Most people would agree that they're weird too. Like I think that like they're hard to understand. Like I think that they're just kind of like, I don't know what they want. I don't know what they don't want. Do they want me to hug them? Do they want freedom? I can be emotional with them. But their avoidance, like I feel like that could be a big thing. I think everybody has like a weird, like for me, I think fire signs are really weird in terms of like how strong they are, but then how also like how many like
How sensitive we are.
how high the mountains are and how high the peaks are and how low the valleys are. Like that's what I feel like with fire signs.
In the words of my Sagittarius friend, high is highs and low is lows.
I feel like that's a fire sign thing. And then
Love
with
to
earth
take you
signs.
home,
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
but hate to watch you go.
And then with earth signs, I feel like they are just, to me, it's always just going to be the stubborn aspect that is just fucking weird to me. Like earth signs, like to me, like they just do not know, like.
I'm biting my tongue.
What do you think? Yeah, what do you think about earth signs? Like they just like.
I'm trying from this point on to not talk about certain earth signs as much.
Okay, talk about the other earth signs.
The other earth signs. The thing is about Virgos is that I'm just kidding. I kid. I'm joking. Yeah, I think every single sign, honestly, has their weird quirks. But when it comes to earth signs, I think it's all about perception, and their perception is very unique in the way they operate sometimes, where I'm like, that's interesting that you got to that conclusion with that context. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well,
and that concludes the astrology portion of the podcast.
Maya, we were weird kids, and we're still weird kids. How do you plead?
No judgment zone here. There's a lot of more weird things that I feel like I've done as a kid that I feel like go into the will never be spoken again bank.
Yeah.
But if you are currently parenting, raising a weird kid, please know that they need extra communication, and maybe don't just leave it up to like, oh, they're weird. Like, I would investigate a little bit, because me throwing my Molly doll in, like punishing her in the closet, a little concerning, but instead it was cute.
Yeah.
Could I have used anger management classes at that time? Absolutely.
I feel like maybe now too. Just kidding.
Oh. Well. You never know.
That was too easy. You don't. It was easy to not say that. But like, I feel like if you do have a kid that you look at and you're like, oh, they're fun. I think look at it as it will build character. It'll make them more fun. Like, it'll be something that later on in life just sets them apart from the rest. And I think have fun with it. Keep checking in. Have so much fun with them. At the end of the day, you made them. And the apple does not fall far from the tree. So.
Absolutely.
Well, Maya, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me at Maya in the Moment, MAYA in the Moment, anywhere where you scroll. What about you, you weirdo?
Oh my God, you can find me at The Curly V Show on Instagram and TikTok, where I post lots of weird. I think my Insta stories are weird, but my content is pretty normal. Like I post like a lot of bugs.
Oh yeah, that was today's. I was like, yeah, I guess, yeah, I resonate with that. I am a beetle. No, yeah. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Super Secret Bestie Club podcast. Hit us up on our social media to let us know what you want to listen to on a future episode of the Super Secret Bestie Club podcast. Love you. Bye. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to hear more episodes every single week. The Super Secret Bestie Club podcast is a production of Sonoro in partnership with iHeartRadio's My Cultura podcast network.
For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.